Joining us now, Senior Leader Dr. Abhishek Singhvi. Thanks, sir, very much for being with us. Dr. Singhvi, does the Congress accept the remarks made by Ashok Gehlot?
First, let me tell you that, as you know, I was chairing a parliamentary committee, so I have to do this from a car and relative darkness.
That's fine, sir.
The answer to your question is, look, I understand that this is an NDTV exclusive, but I would request you humbly that this doesn't need to be played up all the time. This was an event. I think it is now all died down, and people realize that harsh words spoken in the context of what might have been thought at that time to be a innocent exchange are now being carried on every day. I don't think there is, in that sense, any crisis brewing. I must, of course, say, as everybody knows, that the relationship between the two gentlemen has not been at all very hunky-dory, and that is a well-known fact. Everybody knows that. But to suggest from that the whole Congress unit is not functioning and not fighting ultimately for a all-out victory and a repetition despite the incumbency, I think is wrong. People realize that all these fights are meaningless and trivial.
But it appears, Dr. Singhvi, that the two protagonists in this matter, Mr. Pilot and Mr. Gehlot, are intent on carrying on the battle with each other. Where does that leave the Congress and the state?
No, I don't think that's true.
He called him a Gaddar 6 times in the interview, sir.
You are playing up your interview. I don't think it is meant in the sense in which you are saying it.
No, but sir, how could it be meant in any other sense? And of course we are playing up the interview. I mean, you've got a chief minister calling another person who was supposed to have been the chief minister in Rajasthan a traitor 6 times in an interview.
Tell you, first of all, 2 or 3 points very quickly. First of all, you saw that the reaction of Mr. Pilot could have been, equally aggressive. It was very measured and controlled, despite all the provocations when you thrust the mic below his face. Secondly, I think Mr. Gehlot meant that incident. He didn't mean Gaddar in any other sense except that there was a period of time when Mr. Pilot was considered a rebel. So to suggest that from there he is using it literally in the larger legal sense, I think is not right. But in any case...
No, but he's made a lot of allegations about Sachin Pilot as well and his associates and their alleged association or link with the BJP. The fact that money may have been exchanged in the past from the BJP, something the BJP itself has denied. But the allegations are strong. And when he says traitor or Gaddar, he refers to betraying the Congress party.
What the party thinks or does in this context is for the party to decide. There are bodies and there are committees in the party. But I'm making two
Dr. Singhvi, the party has not done anything.
Both of them, no, they don't need to do anything if they find that both of them have been talked to, both of them have realized that the larger goal is more important, and both of them have de-escalated this.
Can you confirm, sir, because this is important. Can you confirm that both have been spoken to after this interview?
I'm saying NDTV has escalated it. They are de-escalating it.
No, sir. Forget about NDTV, sir. We just asked the questions. I mean, let's not get into that. But you made a point, sir, and whatever you say is always correct, I'm sure. So therefore, can you confirm that the Congress leadership has reached out to Mr. Gehlot and Mr. Pilot and told them to control things? Yes or no?
I am not confirming anything of the sort. What I am saying is that there are always back-channel communications within the party at appropriate fora, and everybody realizes the larger goal of working for the Congress. That sentiment has been expressed even by Mr. Pilot yesterday, and you will see in the days to come that this will be a thing of the past. And ultimately it will happen.
All right. So let me summarize this, because I don't want to misquote you. Number one, there is a back channel which exists within the Congress. That back channel is working towards perhaps resolving this issue, and in the days to come, we will see that this is an issue of the past. Is that accurate?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Right. Now, where does that leave Sachin Pilot, who was meant to be Chief Minister of the state? Mr. Gehlot was meant to be possibly contesting for the post of party president. He chose not to do that. That issue, which is the core issue, remains unresolved.
I think that's not a fair interpretation. Okay. Where do you get these decisions that he was to be Chief Minister? I think you are having some special access to some special knowledge that he was to change.
Was that not what was the expectation, sir?
At one time, it was possible and likely that amongst the people who would be filing, it would be Mr. Gehlot. He decided not to file it. That's all in the open. But to suggest that, X was to become and Y replaced him or vice versa, that's too much of speculation. That certainly was not.
Did that conversation not exist within the Congress party? That this is how it would be structured in Rajasthan?
I will actually put it like this. Things had quieted down and people were working towards the election when NDTV got a scoop. Now, whether NDTV...
Sir, you are shooting the messenger, sir, for a scoop. That's for a scoop. That's hardly the point. But where does this leave the Congress ahead of the Rajasthan elections? Your two tallest leaders in Rajasthan are fighting with each other. All right, Sachin Pilot's language was very measured. Gehlot's language was certainly not. What are your own supporters in the state expected to believe?
The Congress is looking forward. Don't ask us to look backward. And today, as I said, the 3 points which you have quoted me fairly and reasonably should be the takeaways. We will make sure that harmony, to the extent possible, will be restored. There has been this static, I would say, an aberration for a short while. I don't think we should now look back. We have to look forward. And that's all been... both people, all stakeholders realize that there's no use fighting on these things unless you deal with the larger issue.
One or two more questions, Dr. Singhvi. There's been no action which has been taken against the bulk of your legislators in Rajasthan after they defied the party whip, went to the governor's house, said that they were willing to resign. This is something, for example, Ajay Maken has been very upset about. As we understand it, that was the primary reason why he chose to withdraw from the role that he had in the Congress party in Rajasthan. How will the party deal with that issue of insubordination among so many of your leaders?
A couple of things, Vishnu.
Yeah.
One is, that matter is, in a technical sense, still pending with the appropriate authorities. Secondly, not taking action may also well be a decision. Thirdly... Is
it a decision, sir?
No, not taking a decision for the time being is a decision in itself. But the point
not taking a decision is a decision by itself.
I said for the time being.
Okay.
There are larger issues to be considered. Elections are around the corner, and I think energies and focus is being devoted to that. But I cannot say that issue is closed. That issue is pending, and let the appropriate authority of the committee which deals with it take a decision. Finally.
Do you believe, sir, one final question, the new Congress president, Mr. Kharge, should be seen saying a lot more in firefighting this issue, the issue of differences within or between these two leaders?
I would say absolutely not. I think he's doing the right thing. He's not falling into possibly the trap of speaking to channels in the way to further escalate it. And I think he realizes that both stakeholders and the larger set of stakeholders in Rajasthan have realized that this is a much more trivial matter compared to the larger issue. And I think that reticence and that restraint which Mr. Kharge is showing, the right approach.
All right.